Hello, my loves. My name is Winter, also known as Winter Heals, and I'm here to talk about how to make 2025 the year of you, specifically talking about affirmations, the law of assumption. So, welcome. Thank you for being here. I am a modern shamaness, a healer, a hereditary seer. I help people through the lens of human design, gene keys, manifestation, channeling, plant medicine, and many, many other modalities. There's more information on my website. All links are below. So, the reason why I want to talk about the law of assumption today is because many of us are familiar with the law of attraction, which is about getting into alignment with the frequency, the desire, the feeling of what it is that we want, what it is we're calling in. And I want to talk a little bit more about the law of assumption, which I feel connects us more deeply to an existing timeline that we might not be currently in. So, when we think about quantum physics, the multiverse, all of this, then we know that we live in a universe of possibilities, of multiple versions of ourselves. And some of those versions of ourselves may be living a life that we desire more than the current life that we're living. And it's really easy to move into different variations of these lifetimes. I also call them timelines. So, speaking about the timeline I was on last year, I was wrapping up a 7-year cycle in Colorado on one timeline. And then I decided, and the universe was showing me that the timeline had basically come to an end. That cycle had come to an end, and there was a new timeline waiting for me to shift into that did not exist in Colorado. So the process of me connecting with that new timeline was also a process of me connecting with that future version of myself. Now we're kind of getting into speaking about like quantum leaping and all that. And when we speak about quantum leaping, it can feel like a really big thing, but honestly, it's like a series of small steps and adjustments that gets you to where you want to be. And the sum of those steps is really the quantum leap. So once I realized that one cycle had ended, a new one was beginning, I began connecting with my future self through meditation and through channeling to connect with that version of me that was existing in another timeline. I wanted to know, what was that version of me wearing, eating, what daily choices were they making for like consuming like media, what were their hobbies, what did they enjoy, like how did it look different than the current timeline, the current version of me was doing. And as I started to get like um, intuitive hits about like the different kind of like clothes that I would be wearing and the different kind of foods that I would be eating and things like that, I started to slowly incorporate those new things and letting go of the old things. So that meant letting go of quite of a bit of my old wardrobe that wasn't feeling like me anymore anyway. So it's kind of like when you get on that level of like, this doesn't feel right, to the level of what you're simply wearing in your body, it can be an indication that you're ready for a new timeline. So I got rid of a lot of my old clothes that didn't feel right. I was no longer attracted to them. They no longer brought me joy. They no longer fit the personality, the kind of person who I was. And I started feeling into like, okay, well, what does the next version look like? What kind of stuff is she wearing? And I was starting to get like images of what that looked like and how those things felt on my body. And I started to slowly shop for a few items at a time just to kind of like try it out and like see if it was like the right vibe, right energy, right feel, all of that. And those were the beginning things I started to do. The next level of things I started to do was speaking things into being by creating affirmations. And it's like an intention, kind of like how when I used to lead new moon goddess circles and I would advise people on creating new moon intentions, writing out a sentence, a statement as though it's already happening, or if you want to take it a step further, as though it's already happened. And Anna Sacy, I think I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. She has a wonderful guide on her own personal journey with the law of assumption and some great tips on how to formulate these statements. And one of the tips that she gives I love so much is how she invokes the higher self before doing the statement. And I believe she got it from Neville Goddard, who is the discoverer or the inventor of the law of assumption, that these laws in the universe exist. But by invoking your higher self first, it's like calling that higher vibrational piece of yourself down into awareness, activating it into awareness and presence so that it can witness the statement you're about to make, as though the statement, whatever it is, whatever the intention is, has already happened. So I'll give you some examples of the statements that I created that I began to write out on sticky notes. Some of them are still stuck to my laptop. So I'd stick them to my laptop, or I'd put them like on the wall, like in my work areas, somewhere I would see them every day so that it would go into my subconscious. Another thing that I love to do is when I'm taking my morning shower, like reciting these statements and building up excitement around them. And both of those methods have proved to be really powerful, and the way that I could start seeing them being reflected in the world around me. And from there, I can decide if I need to tweak the statement or not. For example, at one point, I was asking or intending that my business would be generating more income. So the statement was something like, my business generates higher and higher levels of income every day. So the result from that statement I saw would be like, I'd get like a small request here, a small purchase there. So it'd be like a few dollars here and there, like maybe every week or every other week. And I'm like, no, that's not quite what I meant. I meant like more. So I had to tweak it. And I also had to release my expectations around what the amount would look like, but what would feel bigger for me. So I tweaked that statement to more and more people are finding my um, website every day, eager to work with me and eager to pay. And what I discovered from that was the result of that statement started bringing in new clients that I would be meeting while I was out and about in town, who would discover my Instagram and like want to know more about working with me. So I was like, this is more along the lines of what I'm looking for. So just an example of how a statement will produce an effect, and you can tweak that effect depending upon like what you're experiencing, what's coming in for you. One of the best is how I manifested my fiance. um, the statement was, I have met my forever sweetheart, because I wanted a term that would encapsulate the feeling that I'd want to have in a relationship. And in the past, I used like boyfriend or husband or partner, but it felt like it was lacking emotion for me. And so when my heart came up with that one, my forever sweetheart, I'm like, oh, like that's so romantic and sentimental and like sweet. Like it carries such sweetness to it. So I stuck with that one. And that's how I ended up meeting Jacob. And then it started to turn into I have met and married my forever sweetheart. And the other piece of it that was really important for me was, who sees me truly for who I am and loves me unconditionally. Because for me, that's the most important part of being in a partnership, um, especially as a 5-1. manifesting generator, because with that 5 line in my profile, it's really easy for people to project their needs and desires upon me. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help heal and guide and transform. But in a relationship, I just want to be the partner. I just want to be the lover, the wife, and play that role and not the healer. So if you have found this to be helpful, and I think in the future I will speak more about the projection field and being a 5-1. But if you're here, I'm so happy you're here. If you found this to be helpful, please hit the like button. If you are enjoying this content and the other videos and would like more, to see more of this content, of this journey of what I've experienced and sharing these learnings and how you can make 2025 the year of you, please hit subscribe. I'm so grateful that you're here, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.